This is Mr. Smith 4200. I'm going to do, from you can tell from the title, 2012 rant. A lot of people, I'm not going to really spend my time on this rant trying to convince people whether it's true or not, because the prophecies and stuff, they're all out there, and, you either believe it or you don't. The only thing I'm going to say on convincing people is that a lot of people compare it to Y2K, and they're like, it's a totally ignorant thing, because you're looking at Y2K, which is like that was made up by us, our modern computer technology thing. That was just like all the 99s are going to be 00, so it's gonna fuck everything up, and it would have. My mom was part of her job around that time. One of the things she did was fix things and change it and reprogram stuff. There were people who did that, who prevented Y2K from happening. It wouldn't have been crazy, but stuff would have been deleted, files would have been lost. But anyway, 2012 is like a bunch of different prophecies from like ancient cultures that had no contact with each other, that are all seeming to come true, and seemingly coming to true like now, and like things seem to be coming together, all these different prophecies. That said, most generations think that their time is the end of the world. My dad's generation and our parents' generation, the Cuban Missile Crisis was like, oh shit, we're all gonna get nuked, man. All the Cold War, just World War II, every generation, World War One, all of them. Every generation thinks it's the end. It won't be the end of the world. 2012 won't be the end of the world, but I think what it's going to be is, you've got the Mayans, their prophecy is like, they talk about, like, there's earthquakes mentioned in theirs, and there's earthquakes mentioned in all of them, and if if the poles shift, there's a lot of iron in the plates, and the tectonic plates, and, we're seeing is, not necessarily an increase of earthquake activity itself, but the activity is getting stronger, I would say, because we're having these more devastating earthquakes, in the more active regions of the Ring of Fire, which is where like the plates all crash into each other because they like come out of the Atlantic Ridge or whatever. And I don't know. Basically, as far as 2012 is, I think I can't really convince people whether it's true or not, like I said. But, personally, I do think something is going to happen. But, the way I see it, I would rather spend money and go broke preparing for something that didn't happen than have all my money and be dead. You understand what I'm saying? I would rather not go into debt, but I would rather be out a bunch of money and time and effort than have everything and be dead because it happened and I wasn't prepared. You got to get away. You have to have a plan to get away from people. You don't want to be near people. Personally, I'm looking into tectonic plate area stuff. Just like I'm not a geologist or whatever, but you gotta do what you can. And, I'm looking into that, and I'm looking at that, and you gotta get away from, population, and you want high ground, because, I live in North America, I live on the East Coast, it's like, you got the Great Lakes, and they're connected to I don't know, I feel like they could flood in the Mississippi, and we could get, like, some ocean thing between, and I don't know, maybe, like, East Coast would be, like, its own continent, and, like, the West. And California, I think, would get ripped off of the plate itself. But that's like all craziness. I don't think all that's going to happen. I think there would be some shifting, and maybe the map will be kind of different, but it won't be majorly different. Like, there might be new seas. Hell, maybe like some new mountain ranges and new canyons, but there will definitely be some cities destroyed and definitely lots of life lost. But it won't be the end of people or the end of the world or end of civilization. But it will be a cataclysmic world event that like we've never seen before. And it'll be global. But, governments, and what'll happen is during the event, order is not going to maintain. It's going to be crazy, dude. It's going to be crazy. You know, people are just going to be running around. It's going to be like Rodney King riots times 12, man. It's going to be like, you know, the most for as far as like Americans know, because, you know, I myself included in this statement, I don't know true anarchy. I don't know true disorder, because I live in a fairly well, you know, there are parts of America that are like that, but not even to the degree that I'm talking about, because you know, we're talking about, you know, there's, you know, oh my God, the street just got the street just got torn in half. That overpass fell on that traffic. That's the other thing. I'm not sure how far a car would get you in that's what a populated area. A populated area is a bad idea. And even then, if you were in a car, I would have like a bike or something with me, like a bike with some off-road tires. You know, one of those like foldable, portable bikes. I don't know, but those don't really go off-road that well, so I guess I don't know. But, I mean, I'm not going to really talk about my plan personally, because, you know, part of the whole plan is to not have other people. You talk about your plan, other people do it with you, do it at the same time, and, you know, things get backed up, and there's a lot of, you know, the point is to get away from people. But, you know, I think people, you know, if you really do believe it, I mean, you've probably already got your own preparation, but I'm really looking for those people who are on the fence about it and aren't really sure. I mean, you know, whether you're sure or not, look at, you know, like I said earlier, spend a little money and live. Spend a little money on waste a little money on something that never happens, or be dead and have all your money. Those are your two options as far as being. Those are your, you know, worst. Those are the worst. That's what you're wrong in. If you're wrong either way, those are the worst things that can happen to you. You know, and that's the way you got to look at any problem. You know, what is the worst things that could happen to me? And the worst things you could happen to you either way on that is, like I said, you know, waste a little money for something that didn't happen, or be dead and have all your money. I'd rather waste a little money in preparation for something that never happened than be dead and have all my money. And that's how I feel about 2012. And that is my rant. Thank you very much, Internet. God bless.